Hello and welcome. I hope you're all okay. So, one of the few things that I have enjoyed watching recently has been Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. Now, as you may know, this is in the Monsterverse, with Godzilla and King Kong. Not to be confused with the new Godzilla film minus one. They're completely separate. But rather, this is set within that Monsterverse, and it's the tale of how Monarch comes into being. And overall, I really enjoyed it. So let's talk about it briefly. So it's set. It opens up just after Godzilla Day. It's called now 2015, and it's set in two time eras. One, what is current day for Godzilla, the first Godzilla film, and then it's set earlier in the 50s, and the foundation of how Monarch comes into being and so on and such forth. So you've got Kurt Russell playing the dad and his son Wyatt Russell in real life playing the younger version of himself, and it works really well. And in the modern day, 2015, they're looking for. There's a girl looking. I can't remember the names right now. She's looking for a father who was lost just after G-Day, and she goes into Japan to look for him, and ends up finding a whole different, family that she never knew about. The modern scene, I don't like saying modern because it's not modern, it's 2015. But these scenes, they're alright. I mean, we get a lot of, let's just get into it. Godzilla does make a few cameos. They are good. They've probably spent a lot of money on this show, but it is Apple, so they're not exactly shy of a bob or two, are they? So, I've enjoyed this. For me, I enjoyed the current day 2015 stuff, but I really more enjoyed the 50s stuff because it's the foundation of Monarch. They just discover Godzilla for the first time, and obviously the answer to big monsters is kill them and blow them up. But the thing I found good was we know as the audience that nuking Godzilla is on par with giving him a vitamin pill, so to speak, where they think they've killed him because he disappears. And obviously, well, he hasn't, because he does resurface again when they're looking for other titans. They have theorised that these monsters do exist all over the world. And so it's flitting in between the two time eras. Again, I've enjoyed it. We're going to go into spoilers. So, the first episode, we find out the death of a major character. Now, spoilers again. I'm just warning you. She's not dead. She's stuck in the world between worlds. It's not the world between worlds. I can't remember what it's called. But you know where the monsters live. She's stuck down there. And we only find that out at the episode, the last 10 seconds of episode 9. And then she's in episode 10 properly. So I thought that was a bit disappointing at first. I didn't have the foresight to think that they were going to bring her back, because we don't really know how these, the rules exist of that world. So I thought that was a bit disappointing because they've killed her off, but then we have another 9 episodes where she's in flashbacks, only for it to be no, she's not dead. So again, I really enjoyed it. They spent a lot of money on it. It wasn't cringy dialogue or anyways. Some people didn't like the fact that the modern day there was a gay woman in it. I don't understand why. Normally, I'd call this shit out as well, for box ticking. But I don't understand why they were mad. Really. Because it's either is box ticking or it isn't. Because a sexuality is only shown for 10 seconds. She's never mentioned it before. She don't mention it since. There's maybe a bit of cock blocking of a brother's girlfriend going on there. It looks like they might get together if there's a season 2. But I didn't see what the fuss was about. It's a bit of a switcheroo, isn't it? In current day, they put them in and they bash you over the head with the fact that they're gay. This doesn't happen here. It's 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and then she's dead anyway. In the Godzilla attacks, at least you presume she's dead. So, in most cases, we've got the actual dream. We've got a character who just happens to be gay, rather than gay being the only thing about the character. Do you understand? So we've actually got what we want, in many respects, and yet people still seem to have been a bit miffed at it, and I don't understand why. So that doesn't count as controversy, but, in today's world of box ticking, and let's be honest, shows do generally box tick now, and fucking, by numbers, the black chick, the deaf chick, the Asian chick, the gay man, the fucking effeminate black dude, you know what I mean? It's always there now. So this doesn't do it, and people are still mad. So, but we'll leave that to one side. There's a lot of, I'll be honest, sorry, stuttering. I think it's either the end of episode 1 or the end of episode 2, we first see a Titan. It looks awful. It does, it looks shit. Now, when Godzilla's involved, they do the job. They put a lot of time and effort into making him, tip top. Now, the show isn't about Godzilla. He just happens to be, for one point, they think he's the only monster. They think he's the only Titan. Obviously, because we're tracing the history going into the modern day. And we've got little side plots where, Monarch has to come out of the shadows and reveal itself to the world. It's not really a subplot, but an undercurrent theme where they think the Godzilla attacks were a hoax. That it didn't happen as a conspiracy theory. Because, countries like Japan and America and whoever else was it have put considerable resources into anti-Titan defences, I think it was called. You got big ass cannons and, deep underground shelters. It's like the nuclear war scare, but dialed up. And so it's not, they don't bash you over the head with it. It's not a main theme. It's just there running in the background, and I quite like that. We've got another scene where one of the characters, Mikey, I think, she's a black chick. I did try looking up on my computer, but I can't. I've only got one screen, so either see what I'm doing or research. She worked for a shady kind of organisation, and she's been on the run in Japan ever since. That was an interesting byline. I actually quite like that as a side plot. And it pays off in the last episode. So, a very brief overview. In the modern day, in the past, they're searching for monsters. That's it. They go to different parts of the world. They have to convince the US government that this is the threat, not really Russia. But in a way, they get to test the big bomb. We know the history, the story of Godzilla, where well, at least in some tales, where they tried bombing him out of existence, but obviously to us, we know it's a vitamin pill. So they get to test the nice big bombs that they want to use on Russia on Godzilla, just to make sure there's enough, boom. So that's the pretty much the story of getting the funding, building the organisation up to what it is. And like I said, in the 2015 timeline, They're searching for the father. So they're going here, there, and everywhere. They're following. He's following monsters, and they're following him. And it's been really interesting. It's been a nice way to start in the year. No, it was a nice way to end the year. For me, I enjoyed it overall. I'd recommend it. It's 10 episodes long, 40 minutes ago. There's nothing cringy about it, no matter what people might say. There's none of the silly woke nonsense. And they've put time, effort, and thought into this. And that's what we want from everything. We want you to think about, we want the studios to think about things. And that's what they've done. They've put the time in, they've put the effort in, they've certainly put the money in when it comes to the Godzilla. And so I'm happy with that. You know, it all culminates where past and present meet together. So you got all they end up in the, I can't remember what it's called from the film. I actually watched, because the first couple of episodes, it's more of a binge watch, this show, I'll be honest with you. Binge it, I watched it weekly, many people will have. If you haven't, it's finished now, so binge it. But I went back and watched all the Godzilla films and all the King Kong films, Skull Island and Godzilla vs. Kong. Because even though it's set in the universe, I was expecting at least one character from the film. And there's none of the characters, it's just the organisation and the monsters. Which was annoying for a bit at first, because I didn't have a clue what was going on. So it's definitely a binge one. You do need to have seen the films, really. Because obviously every Godzilla franchise is slightly different from the one before. So it all culminates with them going into the monster world. Fuck it, the caverns, the earth under the earth, Middle Earth, whatever you want to call it. And she's still alive from the first episode. So you've got, and it's her granddaughter who's been, obviously, her son as the father that the kids are looking for. So you get some nice touching family reunions. You get Shaw describing 2015 to her. That's interesting, Cars aren't as cool. TVs are massive. Now everyone's got a massive TV. We have phones where you get everything on it. It was an interesting little, quick 10-second catch up kind of thing. And they eventually escape. Shaw sacrifices himself because that was his job, to keep her safe. So he sacrifices himself. In the last episode, we do get Godzilla having a fight with a Titan. It's some kind of cross between a pterodactyl and it's a pterodactyl that can walk as well as fly. Godzilla wins, obviously. And they end up back in, it's not 2015 anymore, it's 2017 they end back in. Up to the events of Skull Island, because we get an appearance by Kong. So that's where it ends. Now, I would like to see a season 2. I would. I enjoyed it. I don't know if many people did. I don't know if this flew way under the radar. I'm not even sure if Apple TV's available everywhere. Unless, you might have to watch it, via Captain Jack. I don't condone that. I condemn that, obviously just for the YouTube gods. Don't use Captain Jack. No. But I enjoyed it overall. It satisfied a craving I didn't know I had. I don't really give a shit about Godzilla films. They're good. I do want to watch Godzilla -1 because it does look awesome. I do like the time period of which it is set, which is immediately post World War II. It seems very interesting. And when that comes on, and I can watch, it's not at my local cinema at the moment. I'd have to go all the way to, Manchester to watch it. But this does it gives you something you didn't know you wanted. You know, I said for me, I preferred the past moments. It's a bit like, forgive me, when you play Assassin's Creed, you don't give a shit about the current day, do you? You want to go back in time. This is how I felt. I liked it taking me back in time and teaching me and showing me how this organisation came to be. How Shaw almost jeopardised the entire thing because of his own personal feelings. How, the military took over right away. They went to the military saying, we have this and we think we could help each other, and the military just took over right away. You wanted our help, this is our help. Big bombs go boom. Very interesting. I enjoyed it. So I would say, Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, give it a go. I said it's 10 episodes at 45 minutes, so you're not going to be losing a chunk of time. I mean, if you sat through, Rings of Power and things like that, and that was shite, this is well worth your time. Anyway, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you again. Ta-da!